What's up, Fort Knox? It's your girl Riley here, back with another video. Thank you for watching my channel. Make sure you subscribe, all that good stuff. It's been a minute since I've actually sat down and talked to you guys about really anything. And I just want to say, I hope everybody is doing well and keeping busy, and just, waiting out this whole quarantine thing. But in the meantime, I'm an entertainer, so that's what I'm here to do. I'm gonna entertain you while you're trying to get through it all. This year I will celebrate 20 years of being in the entertainment business, and I get asked a question all the time that really has no simple and easy answer, and that is, how did I become an entertainer? How did I become a Beyonce entertainer, or the top Beyonce impersonator in the world? And I thought, you know what, today let me just tell you guys that story. It really is a very interesting story, but it really did not happen overnight. It's something that happened with lots of work, lots of determination, lots of rejection, and also just some, really trying times and trying things, just trial and error sometimes. It was just a lot. But basically what happened is, I moved to DC in 2000, because I said 20 years, we're in year 2020. So 2000, I came to DC, and I didn't really, know anyone in the LGBTQ community. I didn't know any girls that were trans. I didn't know anybody that were performers, any of that stuff. And I met a guy, and we started dating, and he took me to a drag bar, and I'd never been to one before. Now, mind you, I was very young. I was 19 years old. I wasn't old enough to get into any of the clubs. So, because he had performed there and because he knew everybody there, he kind of snuck me in, introduced me to all these girls, and I saw the show, and I was like, whoa. They are larger than life, their makeup, the costumes, the over the top. And this was a small bar. I'd never been to a gay club. I'd never been to a drag bar. I'd never seen entertainers, none of that. I'd never even been to a club. I wasn't old enough to get into them at the time. So I just was in awe of them. And I used to sit back in the dressing room and just stare at them, and they thought something was wrong with me, because they're why does this kid come in here and stare at us and just doesn't really say anything? And he had to tell them well, it's because I was fascinated with them, and I just was wow. And at the time, I was a makeup artist. I had just started off as a makeup artist, and it was just sort of I just was in awe of their fabulousness. And so the leader of them, Xavier Onassis Bloomingdale, she said to me, you want to do this, don't you? And I was just no, I can't. I'm really shy. I can't do this. And she's like, yeah, you do. She's bring a wig and a number, bring a wig, a dress, and a number. And I'm no, I can't. And so, they were just all trying to convince me, and I was oh my God. So the week of, I was just okay, I guess I'm going to do it. And I'm going to practice, and I'm going to do all these, I'm going to get a dress, get a wig. I went bought a dress, bought a wig. I'm gonna do my own makeup because I'm a makeup artist, And I prepared Janet Jackson's What About, which was from the Velvet Rope album. And this was, a very dramatic song. It's a song about domestic violence. And it was, I just wanted to be come out and be just super dramatic and have all this these dramatic things do, I had someone pretend to slap me and all this different stuff. So I was just really, 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 really nervous. So because I was so nervous, I didn't even think about the fact that wait a minute, you don't look like yourself. You can act and be anything you want to be, This is my first time, dressed up this way. And I'm telling you guys think now oh, she's flawless on stage, she does all this stuff, whatever. Honey, it was not. I thought I knew everything about makeup, and stage makeup at that. I just did my own regular makeup that I had been doing on girls and the makeup department here in Pentagon City. A lot of you, if you're in the DC area, you are familiar with that. And so I was just I went out on stage I looked a hot ass mess. But there was something there, because as soon as the lights came on, even though I was so nervous, as soon as the lights came on, as soon as they announced my name, the music started, I transformed. It's like I clicked into someone that even I didn't know. Like I just, it was insane. And I realized immediately while I was performing, like I could just be uninhibited, and all that nervousness went away. And I tell you, to this day, all that nervousness goes away as soon as I hit the stage. Like, I'm nervous before every performance, whether I'm performing in front of, 300,000 people or performing in front of 30 people. I am extremely nervous. And as soon as I hit the stage, that all goes away, and I am just, I transform into somebody, which is why I identify with Beyonce and Sasha Fierce, like that whole thing, that whole era, because I definitely had that too. Now the two have melded together, and that shyness is completely gone, like it's all gone. So as soon as I finished performing, and I still have videos and pictures, but I have not videos, I have pictures of the girls coming from the dressing room and just being like, oh my God, like clutching their pearls, because they were like, this kid who was shy and not saying anything backstage just went out here and slayed on stage. And then the leader, like Xavier, the host of the show, was like, you want to do it again, don't you? And I was just like, oh, yeah, I want to do it again. Like, that felt so good, So, that was 2000. I started performing, and I started wearing hand-me-downs from the other girls, and different outfits they would give me, and I would cut them up. And Capri Bloomingdale was one of those people. You guys know her here for doing Whitney Houston. And she, back then, was one of the girls that kind of gave me a restart, a resurgence. And we always joke and say, she said to me, yeah, come on back and do this. It was always cute for you, because at one point I had stopped performing, and then I went back, I stopped a year into it, and then I went back and I was like, I want to do it, and I want to come back, and I want to be whatever, I had made a plan and all this stuff. She's like, I always thought it was cute for you, come on back. So that's our running joke. And so I went back and I performed, and then in 2003, Crazy in Love came out, and there was not a place that song was not played. You could hear it everywhere, in the grocery store, in the elevator, in your car. The song was repeated. It was the most popular song of 2003. It was Beyonce's debut. I was already a fan of Destiny's Child, but this song just was something about this song. It was amazing, So I tried my hand at it. I, mimicked the video. I saw the video and I was like, oh, I want to wear what she wore in the video. I kind of cut up some stuff and did the top with the white tank top and the blue jeans and the red heels, and I went out on stage and I did that, and I kept doing it, and then I kept doing different incarnations of it. She performed at the BET Awards, and so I wanted to do that. And so there was this trans entertainer. Her name was Lady Gracious, and she had a birthday party, and she was like, I want you to perform at my birthday party. You did Beyonce, I want you to do Beyonce at the party. Well, the problem is, everybody that came to the party, it was one of those things where the entertainers would come, and there were 30 something entertainers on the show. It was what we call a marathon show now. So these entertainers all turned in whatever song they wanted to turn in. It just so happened they all turned in Crazy in Love by Beyonce. Now, she asked me to come there and do it, and I was so geeked up to do it. And everybody that went on before me, and there were literally 9 entertainers that went on before me, and every single one of them did this song. So by the time it was time for me to perform, it was because this had no structure. Everybody just did whatever they wanted to. So by the time I went to perform, everyone was sick and tired of seeing this song. But I had a trick up my sleeve. I had the wind machine, I had 2 wind machines. I had hired a guy to pull me up Beyonce had on the BET Awards. I had the costume that I'd worn and made from the BET Awards that was a knockoff of the Versace that she wore. It was purple and green. I had, all the dance steps and stuff. And when I did it, everyone gave me a standing ovation, was oh my God, this is DC's own Beyonce. I think it was Tallulah Fox. She was the drag queen at the time. She was just this is DC's own Beyonce. And I got coined that term that night. And then Shaquita Lee saw me do it. She was there, and she was just you're the best one I've seen do Beyonce. So you need to come and show these girls what it's about. And she had the show on U Street in DC, and she was come and perform it. And then I just kept doing stuff and just kept doing stuff. And over the years, I just thought wow, there's a similarity here. the look was not dead on then, but like I started watching videos and like mimicking the way that this girl moved and the way she, you know, walked and the way she held a microphone and the way she just like had this look on her face like while she was performing and doing like these like facial expressions and going crazy on stage. And I studied every single thing. I watched every video I could find. I watched every DVD, every concert, just every interview. And then eventually it just kind of like evolved over time. And as she grew, I had to grow. And, you know, every video, every album came with its new challenges. Every new video came with its own choreography. And I remember, you know, when Single Ladies came out, my best friend and best girlfriend, and you guys know her now, is Monique Samuels from Real Housewives of Potomac. But we were in her kitchen and we were trying to learn that you know, all that like choreography, and she was just like, they're doing some kind of thing like this. We still talk about this to this day. And now it's just like, you know, I had to learn all this stuff, and then like, you know, I was performing without even background dancers at the time. It was a lot, but honestly, it's such a much more long story. Like the story is so much longer than what it is. But what happened is, you know, I started working with Shaquita Lee. And a lot of you guys know her here. She impersonates Tina Turner and many other people, but she's like the top drag queen in DC and at the time. And it was just really like, her girls became known for like, you know, impersonating people and like being like an impersonation show as opposed to just a drag queen. Now, what I didn't tell you guys is, yes, I started performing as a drag queen. Obviously, you guys know that I'm transgender, but I transitioned somewhere around, so I was 19 when I started performing. I transitioned when started my transition when I was like 24. So I started performing as a girl before I actually started living in my truth. And so it kind of helped me get out of my shell. It helped me to really just become the woman that I am. Performing helped me become, you know, the girl that I, you know, always wanted to be. And it just was a really journey of like, you know, probably like the first 10 years of getting my name out there and like really working and like people start to notice. And then all of a sudden I went viral for impersonating Beyonce pregnant, you know, and I'd been doing this for so long and people locally knew who I was. But now with the age of like Instagram and social media and all of that, it's like, okay, now I impersonate this girl, like this belly pregnant, and then going back in the chair, that was a lot, you know, like people were just like, wow, like she looks so much like her, she's doing all of that. And I started really like, you know, seeing how Beyonce's makeup was done and noticing we were the same height, we were the same size, we had the same, you know, we're same age, like all these different things, and then the wigs and the hair and all that stuff, like all of it just kind of came together. But when I really got recognized was when, like globally, is when I impersonated Beyonce pregnant at the Grammys. And then I got picked up by the Shade Room, and then the Shade Room did the story first, and then here comes BET.com, and then, you know, it went as far as like China, like people, like there were websites in China of like all these people talking about this girl who's doing Beyonce and she's impersonating her, like what, you know, and that's how I became known around the world as the top Beyonce impersonator. And then from there, I started doing more and more things on, every time I would perform, I posted on Instagram. And then I got the recognition of Taylor Swift. And she, with the help of Todrick Hall, found me and put me in her music video for You Need to Calm Down. You guys know that from last year. And this sort of like, then from there, like, you know, we won the MTV Video Music Award and all these other things. And I know I'm skipping like kind of fast forward ahead, but you know, the first place that I was shown the most amount of love was DC and Baltimore. Like my fans in DC and Baltimore are unparalleled because they knew me before anybody knew me. They loved me before anybody loved me. And, you know, even the Washington Blade, you know, named me 2 years in a row as the top transgender performer. And just like, it just was sort of like the Beyonce performer, you know, at first was known as the DC's own Beyonce. And then I got known as, you know, the top Beyonce impersonator in the world. And I'm so grateful, but I know that I put in so much work to get this title, but it was never really about the title for me, because there's other girls who do like such amazing jobs as Beyonce, and a lot of you guys know those girls, but I really put in so much work just to entertain people. Never occurred to me that I'd be famous at what I'm doing. Like, that was never the goal. It's still not the goal. It has afforded me a great life and a great platform to do more and inspire people, and especially the trans community. And even so now with, being the first trans entertainer to ever perform at a halftime show at the NBA. And it's never been done, at the NBA or the NFL. And the reason that I got to do all of those things was simply because, I started in DC, and I started, with all the drag queens who showed me so much love and kind of took me under their wing and showed me the way. And then even after I transitioned, allowed me to still perform with them, even though they, I might have had a leg up where I didn't have to do all the things they had to do. I was just transgender and performing. I wasn't a drag queen. Those things mattered, because they gave me a chance. And I feel like it's very important that I do that for other girls coming up, because, that was the opportunity that I was given. And I'm forever grateful for all of that. And I love that you guys still show me so much love. And I love that I still get to do what I get to do and love what I do. That is very important to me, that I still love what I do. And I won't be able to do it forever. I know that comes as a shock to some of you, but I eventually will probably age out of this. Thank God Beyonce and I are the same age. But there's other things that I want to do, and other ways that I want to influence you guys, and other ways that I want to, I'm not going away from you guys ever. 20 years into it, I still love it. As long as I still love it, and I'm able to do it, I will do it. And that's just that. That's the story of how I became, in a nutshell, how I became a Beyonce impersonator, how I got into entertainment, how I got known for being the #1 Beyonce impersonator. And I just, really love that over the years that I've got to do what I love. And that's that. That's all. You guys, thank you for watching. I will see you guys again very soon. I'm going to keep giving you the most of me, because you guys keep asking for it. Like, we just want more. We want more. We want more. Well, I got you. I got you. I got you. Thank you. Make sure that you subscribe and click the bell for notifications, so that you know when the new video is coming out. And I will see you guys in the next video. Love you.